Thank you. Yeah. So on the last bar plus downbeat, that's a 6/4, right?
Yeah.
All right, not bad. So Allison, at the beginning, if this is the Ravel orchestration, who is playing the first bar?
Trumpet.
Right. Breathe like a trumpet player. Okay. When you see that prep, as if you're a trumpet player, and then who comes in measure 3 in the Ravel version?
I believe it's more of the brasses.
It's the rest of the brass section, yeah. So again, breathe like a brass player. Okay? In all the other versions, well, not all the other versions, in some of the other versions, like the Tushmilev is sort of the other famous one, this is a string section, same thing. You got to be able to bring in, anywhere from 12 to 100 people there. Okay? So make sure you breathe with them. Start this one more time. Good. Can you feel the breath at the tip of the baton? Okay. Good. Yeah. So what style are you going for here?
Legato, but still with weight.
Okay, legato but still with weight. Can you show more of the weight? I see. Can everybody play the melody? Can you, for an exercise, do this marcato? Good. One more time. And I want you to pay attention to how this feels different. Yep. Just prep that downbeat. Prep that downbeat marcato. Good. Okay. Does that feel different than when you're trying to do legato?
Not a lot.
Okay. To me, it looks different. The marcato looks a lot more free than your legato. Your legato prep, I feel like you move everything back, and there's a sense of like, it almost looks like I hope you play. Okay, as opposed to the marcato, which looks really authoritative and plain out. So I need you to somehow figure out how to get that same sense of freedom in the legato that you get in marcato. Okay, so go to the legato and try to make the two feel a little more similar. Okay, good, much better. One more time. And listen for the kind of legato that you want. Yes, that's quite a bit better. Do it one more time. Okay. Are you conscious of changing anything or not really? is something we talked about this last semester, folks. It's like, you know, if you're pitching or bowling or I mean whatever, like there at some point, I can't do anything else. The ball is going, right? At this point, the ball is going. Yeah. So I think maybe that. Why did you decide on legato?
I think, especially with this opening of it being a solo line, I wanted the sound to ring and not be like too march-like and marked, and also just the meaning of the piece of it being that strolling through the art gallery and not, you're not marching through.
Yep.
So I think that's why I picked legato versus marcato.
Yep. Yeah, very good. I would caution against overdoing the legato. That's all. You don't want it to become be ba 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 ba. It starts to veer that way a little bit. Okay. He gives us everybody a very not confusing, but a bizarrely specific instructions. Allegro giusto. What does that mean? Not with gusto now. Giusto is kind of like just or like correct. Like this is allegro in tempo. Right? Nel modo rustico. What's rustico?
You know, I don't speak English.
Senza allegrezza, ma poco sostenuto. So the nel modo rustico, I think it's actually it's not rustico, it's rustico. So that means Russian. So I think it's supposed to be sort of like I imagine it like think about Tchaikovsky March Slav, right? Kind of like a Russian march. Okay. Senza allegrezza. It's not allegro. It's not happy. It's not light, right? And then ma poco sostenuto, but a little sustained. Okay. So he's saying in tempo, kind of aggressive, not happy, a little connected.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, right? He's super specific about what he's going for in this. Yeah. So just don't overdo the legato part. Good. In parts from the beginning, and try to get that freedom the whole time, and breathe with everybody on each of these entrances. And one more time. There you go. Breathe. Breathing each entrance. Bring them in. Yeah, good, Allison. Right. So on each of these entrances here, you need to bring the rest of the group in. Breathe with them. Even if you're conducting like the CSO, who has played this piece once or twice, they're still gonna, it'll feel a little behind if you're kind of waiting for them. Brett, breathe. Chee dum pom ba dum pom ba dum. Breathe. Ba bee ba dum pom. Okay. One last time. Prepare each entrance. prepare the entrances just like we do in the queuing examples. Okay? Who's next? Okay. And does anybody know why Pictures has those meter changes in it? Or does anybody have a sense of why the meter changes are there?
I feel like I should know that.
Doing the same piece.
It's not necessarily trivia. I mean, do you have any sense of musically what's? If you were to write this in like a time signature, like one time signature without the meter changes, or with less of them, let's just take the beginning. What would the time signature be at the beginning if you were going to do this without meter changes? I mean, we have a regular pattern. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. What's that?
Number
11, 4.
Okay, I was right. Cool.
Yeah. So think about what that means. He wrote a march in 11, 4. Right? So he's getting at this march-like quality, but trying to add like a stroll element to a march. Do you know what I mean? Because think about it. If it was beam bom bom bottom bom bottom bom bom beam bom bom beam bom bom bottom bom, that's that's exactly when you walk through the museum that way. You don't just kind of. So there have to be kind of this stroll element to it. It's supposed to feel a little bit off balance. Those are good things for us to know because we will naturally react to that, as sensitive musicians. But when you conduct it, you have to be like the reliable one. So understanding that this music is supposed to feel a little bit unreliable, while your job is to be reliable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Kind of ish. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Take it away, Maestro.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, ready. I'm gonna close those because it's getting chilly. Good. How was the tempo? Did that work for you?
It could be a little bit slower.
Okay, I'm not trying to lead it anyway, I'm actually wondering. So you thought it was a little fast?
Maybe.
Okay,
For me.
it looked to me a little bit like they were behind what you wanted. So were they or no? I'm just trying to get a sense of the technique. Okay, so your rebounds were a little quick, and it looked like you were trying to kind of speed them up all the time. Okay, so the first way to fix that is the prep. Make sure the prep is exactly in time. And then if you don't like the tempo, you have to speed up both the rebound and the descent, right? So if I'm going along and that tempo doesn't work for me, then I can make them go faster by speeding up both the rebound and the coming up and the coming down. If I only speed up the rebound, right, that doesn't actually change the tempo. That becomes more wait. So you have to sort of do it more gradually and speed up both of them. So slow your rebounds down a little bit. And if you don't like the tempo, then just conduct faster as opposed to just speeding up part of the beat. Okay? You're still doing like the baton is starting down, and you're kind of doing think that's part of the problem too. So start a little flatter. Yep, very nice. Now just beat up and down. Okay, yep. Good. And I want you at the bottom of your beat, I want you to freeze. Good. You see where your baton's pointed? Yeah. And keep it a little more in line with the rest of your arm. There you go. Good. Okay. Now if you were strolling through a museum, like you have to imagine, like, for some reason this guy in my mind is very fat. I don't know why that is. But it's a fat man strolling through looking at Victor Hartmann's paintings. Right? What? You know, like, what might you look like if you were going to stroll through a museum? Okay? And you have to sort of embody that a little bit. So, I wouldn't stroll through a museum this way. Right? Probably would stroll through a museum a little more. You're not in a hurry. You're just checking out the paintings. Okay? So, try to act this character just a little bit more. Okay? Slower rebounds, flat arm, act. Wait. Yeah. I know that I tell a lot of grad school stories, but like this really is the person in my mind whenever I'm teaching conducting. It's like he was a 7-year-old Russian man. He's yell at me about something. He goes, "Okay, I will show you how it is. Stand up, stand like this, pull his shirt down. Sometimes you go like this." And that was it, right? And it didn't matter if it was Beethoven 9, Mozart 39, Rite of Spring. Bam! It must be right there. Just like a nice slice of cheesecake for you and your friends. But the reason I tell that is not because the Cheesecake Brothers fight. I mean, there really is something about, like, you have to not be in a hurry with this. Okay? And it has to be bam, and it's solid. Okay? Just do the first bar. Everybody play the melody, the first bar. Good. One more time. Okay. Yeah, do the whole first bit. Okay, good. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Now, think about, step out to it so you can put your arm on it. Good, good? Okay, then back. Good. And then keep the baton on the, there you go. And then I want you just to tap, use the wrist and just tap the step. Yeah, just tap with your hand around the baton step. Yeah, there you go. Good. And then get a little bit larger. Larger. And then let your wrist come off the stand. Okay, keep going. Even bigger. So keep your elbow on the stand. I'm holding it, don't worry. And really whack. Yes. Good. Now, think about the tempo you want for pictures. A little faster. Good. Even larger. Larger. Right, here's what I'm trying to get. Right? This kind of yes. Good. Good. Starting here, okay, starting in this position, everybody play the melody. Aha! Did you hear how they took that tempo right away?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do it one more time and show the breath. Don't take the breath. Right! Yeah! Okay, now, select the tempo you want. Yeah. Okay, that was really interesting. Did you see what he did? He went like this. He went. out into your arm, right? The breath should be here. We should feel the breath in here. We need to feel it simultaneously here and here, okay? In your tempo. Fantastic. Good. Is that understand? Much better. Much better. Now, when you show that first beat, okay? You're kind of out here, and then you're going like this. If there's too much of this kind of motion, everybody, then it starts to obscure the downward motion afterwards, right? So watch the difference. So if I was gonna conduct beginning, if I'm staying in the middle versus, right? Like your concept of like 5 and 1. You know what I mean? They can't look at the subdivision. So come from here more to here, and then up, down. Try that with that. Good. Yep. Start more in the middle. Up, down. Yes. Now imagine the music stands right here. Yeah. Sorry. Imagine the music stands in front of you. So you're hitting that table, just like before. And let's do parts. Okay, good. This feels to me like it may be faster than you want to go now. Maybe? Let me suggest it's a little fast. Can you pull that tempo back just a little bit? Okay, everything is really great. Okay, now just a hair slower. Sorry, can you do this? Come up on your toes. And then down. Up on your toes. And down. And then, without them flying, just beat one beat. Good. You really need more. Good. In parts. Yeah, that's a much better sound. Yeah, bravo. Keep working on this, getting the rest of the arms to follow behind the point of the baton. Okay? When you drop down like this, then it starts to look a little bit too precious. You know, for certain music, this is great. Like Mozart, Rossini, whatever, this is fantastic. For something like this, where you want a little bit of weight, you want the rest of the arm to come with you, to come with the beat. Otherwise, bro. Next. Yeah. Awesome.
I'll do the Offenbach, the time.
rehearse that for a concert, what would you say?
Yeah, we do that again.
Professionals hate it when you just say do it again. They're like, well, what do you want us to change? Because we played everything perfectly. No, they did not. But if you were conducting a crappy professional group right now, what would you want to try?
I don't know. I feel like I'd be like reinforcing like the continue like counting like the 16th note for like bum bum bum.
Okay.
Because I felt like that might have been a little inconsistent, as well as kind of when I was going through like the changing 3 to 2, like I don't know, I felt like the 8th notes were not consistent either, so I think I'd be hitting home consistency.
Okay, so what would be a faster way to say that?
I guess I don't know.
Together on your 16ths and steady on your 8ths.
Okay.
Okay. Good again. Okay, now, good. I'm glad that was the thing you zeroed in on, because you're absolutely right. It was absolutely wrong. But just, you as a conductor, just zeroing in on the tempo didn't really fix it, right? Because you heard that, right? Why? This is one of the paradoxes about conducting that we have to kind of deal with.
I guess I don't know. Kind of like dealing with anticipation, I guess.
It's actually related to that, yeah. Tempo, as a concept, is always an abstraction. Tempo is abstract. And so if there are tempo problems and you start conducting only tempo, then it actually becomes harder for the group to relate that abstraction of tempo to the salience of notes, right? So what you need to do is keep that steady tempo that you're going for, but you have to figure out a way to relate it more to the music. Okay? So in this case, it's not bum 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 bum. That's kind of amusical. An ensemble will always resist doing anything amusically. Right? They will resist that. Like if it's something that just doesn't make sense, they're going to resist, and the more they resist, then the more that what they want to play doesn't match what you're conducting. Okay? So steady tempo, but more legato, and show the shape. Good, that's already a lot better. Already a lot better. Can you bring your downbeats into the middle more? So that for your 3/4 being out here is just fine. But when you go into 2/4, then it looks like
Yeah.
here. So come more into the center.
Okay.
You're rushing your descent a little bit.
Yeah, like crescendo sucked.
Let's practice that gesture a little bit. Do it with just the right hand. So don't worry about the left.
Okay. Okay.
So let's take the pickup into measure 13. Pick up into 13 and just the baton. Show the pickup. So breathe, 3. Right. Yep. So so you want to get so larger in the crescendo. Bum, 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 and then small. It's a small prep for the subito. Okay? Okay, good. Now, can you reinforce that with the left? So keep all of that you were doing with the right hand, and just let the left hand kind of go along with it.
We'll do pickups into 12. Pickups into 12.
I think you might make
Or pickups into 13. Sorry about that.
Y'all
Sorry.
make fun of me for doing
Pickups to 13.
better. Yeah, that's much better. Good, go. Had a teacher who said to me that we don't conduct the way a painter paints, we conduct the way a sculptor sculpts. So it's not like I'm conducting something that doesn't exist and I'm willing it into existence, right? The ensemble has notes and opinions and musical ideas and sensibilities and training. And so what we're doing is we're actually trying to take all of that, which is akin to like the marble or the clay or whatever, and then shape that into something that we want, as opposed to everybody being a blank canvas and us trying to throw paint on it, right? So when we were talking about the tempo issue, right? If something is legato and the ensemble sees this, then the first thing that goes through their mind is not here's the tempo, it's oh I'm wrong, right? And then usually the tempo then, in order to process that, they wait and they slow down. So we can say, well, what are you doing? What? Oh, okay. And now everything's behind. And so then our reaction is to then make it more, focus more in on tempo, and that kind of makes the problem worse. You know. So what we really have to do is find a way to more clearly infuse the sense of tempo into the music, as opposed to showing tempo instead of the music. Right? It's kind of a subtle difference, but it's an important one for actually making the group do what you want to do. Okay, next.
Go.
Okay.
I'm gonna do pictures.
Picture. I'm sorry, what? Oh, because you went for Mars. We'll keep doing this on Wednesday, it's fine. Hey, there's something about the 6 or the 3 2 bars in like measure 14 and 15
Okay.
that So because they have this bee bum, bee bum, bee bum, bottom bum, bee bum, bum, they feel to me more like 3 groups of 2 instead of 2 groups of 3. So I think it's more effective to do it as a subdivided 3 for those 2 bars. It's a little detail, but good. Everything is clear, which is great, but your drum major is showing.
Okay.
Can you make it less? First of all, when there's just like a solo person playing, you don't need to mirror.
Okay.
Okay. So try conducting the solo player with one hand, and if you want to mirror, then when everybody else comes in, that'll help to sort of differentiate them a little more. What did you think of what they played? I mean, besides drawing notes and stuff, but like, what did you think of?
I don't know. I guess it was okay.
Okay, all right. Start it again. Try this right hand, left hand, not mirroring thing, and then have an opinion.
Okay.
Okay, do it again. Okay. Here. What did you think?
It wasn't quite what I was hearing in my head.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Can you now articulate how it was different?
It felt more like, not choppy, I don't think is the word I'm looking for, but more heavy and like, than the kind of smoothness.
So you want it smoother
Yeah,
and lighter.
yeah.
Can you just show that? Okay, good. So it's funny because what you said was you said it's a little bit too and the first thing you showed was
Yeah.
right? So you're like, don't do this. Show them more of what you want, right? So lighten up. You have to lighten up your gesture as well. Okay, that's better. The styles are getting a lot better. The articulations in the first couple of bars feel very squishy to me. They look very squishy from you. Okay, so your initial rebound for the prep is sort of like this, and then you're kind of like hesitating on the way down. Okay, so, but by the third bar, things are working just fine. So imagine the third bar, and then what does that motion look like in measure 3? And then show that in measure 1. That's it. One more time. Trust them more. Yeah, good. So, Faye, when you start thinking about your tempo changes, you kind of start to pull away from them and just like, it just becomes this abstract thing. For you, when it becomes abstract, the beat moves out of the tip of the baton and kind of comes back here into your hand, and then it just becomes a little bit less clear. I think that's where that squishiness is coming from, because you're kind of getting this. You know what I mean? Where it's not quite now, it's more like in here somewhere. And it's not quite what you're going after. Try starting in measure 3. Yeah, that's quite a bit better. Okay, yeah, I think it's, now that we have the more complicated meter changes, some of that tempo relationship started to fall apart a little bit.
Okay.
So go back and practice that in this context.
Okay.
Good job. Okay, so everybody, we'll do more of this on Wednesday, and then we'll put our exam off until Monday. Okay? Thank you all very much. See you Wednesday.